74 countries, 141 deaths have been linked to the flu outbreak. The CDC reports 27 deaths in the United States. Swine flu fears keeping some students in Hong Kong. Authorities took the action after the outbreak of the flu. Here's CNN's Pauline Cho.
All of the kindergartens and primary schools are closed for the next 2 weeks. That's because 12 students from this school, the St. Paul's Convent School, have been confirmed to have the H1N1 flu virus. Now, normally in Hong Kong, the school year ends in the middle of July, so this is just a temporary closure. Let's go to the front entrance of the school. The gates are down, and you can even see signs that the school put up prior to today advising students how to prevent the spread of the H1N1 virus. It says things like, let's resist the virulent flu together, cover the nose when sneezing, and cover the mouth when coughing. Now, all of this comes just about a month after a hotel in Hong Kong had been quarantined after a tourist who had checked into that hotel was later found to have the H1N1 virus. And once again, the city is saying they don't want to take any chances.
Yeah, it's spreading, and they've raised it to level 6. Level 6
is
people.
no longer quarantined over swine flu fears. Nagin had been detained in China for 3 days. He was released yesterday. Chinese authorities quarantined the mayor because a passenger on his flight was suspected of having swine flu. Nagin showed no signs of the illness. We are breaking down the president's health care proposals. Who would be covered and how much would it cost?
The fact that they say that D.C. Police Chief said that Stephen Johns actually opened the door for James Von Brunn to let him enter the museum, and as they say, almost immediately upon that door opening, he lifted the rifle and opened fire. The information that we got is he got off at least one round before the other security guards returned fire, and of course we know he was hit, and the latest is that he remains in critical condition over at George Washington University Hospital, the nearest trauma center to this. And of course we should point out that what we just learned is that they have officially charged Von Brunn with murder as well as discharging a firearm in a federal facility, looking into additional charges of civil rights and hate crimes. So that is a very serious charge, as they say. They're very early into the investigation, but that is something that they're also working on as they continue this investigation. They talk about all that they've been doing in the less than 24 hours. They say dozens and dozens of interviews have been conducted locally as well as across the country, search warrants on his car as well as his home. And now we've also learned from officials here on the ground that there is surveillance video of the incident that happened. That's part of the affidavit that was submitted in U.S. District Court. So we're also told that surveillance video is not going to be released at this time.
All right.
Not yet, but it will.
Here as we work through a couple of other details. You were at that news conference, and I was listening to it. I just want to make sure I have a lot of this information correct here. The FBI is trying to establish a 36-hour timeline on this man, Von Brunn.
Yes, that's exactly what they say. They're right now working on establishing a detailed 36-hour timeline of his whereabouts.
Tracking cell phone activity, computer activity, who he talked to, what websites he visited. Is that correct?
Exactly, and that's all part of it. And the one thing we heard over and over again is we need your help. We're acting now. We need your help. If you come in contact, if you have information, to help us out and give us information. They say they're working on establishing
him or any other haters you know, turn them in.
From the assistant director in charge of the FBI's Washington field office. Why don't we take a listen to that?
The chief Lanier stated this is a joint investigation with the Metropolitan Police Department, and we are pursuing dual charging purposes. One as a homicide, and the other as civil rights and hate crimes. We know what Mr. Von Brunn did yesterday at the Holocaust Museum. Now it's our responsibility to determine why he did it.
It's something that has been burning in the minds of everyone that has heard of this event here and across the country. An important thing to point out as well, Tony, they stress over and over again that they do not have any information that Von Brunn had any accomplices or co-conspirators in this. They really do believe he was a lone gunman and acting alone in this incident, but that
he belongs to hate groups, though.
But he still was able to
other haters.
It's quite scary.
Cable, just outside
They're gonna
of the Holocaust
say this guy's a martyr.
Museum.
the heat is on.
It just wrapped up a short time ago. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. The family of the slain officer invited members of the media to speak with his son, and Josh Letts joins us with that. Hey, Josh.
11 years old, Tony. 11-year-old boy. Our affiliate WUSA was one of the media that got a chance to speak with this boy. We're standing alongside his stepfather. Let's just take a look.
He was pretty great guy, and he was always there for me when I was like down or sad or all that.
Had the right words, the right touch, did you?
Then like when I had heard about what happened, I was just like, yeah, I think that's sure.
Very sad.
Dad being there saved a lot of lives.
He did, honey.
It's heartbreaking, as you were just saying, Tony. It's just heartbreaking. It's difficult to watch. I want to correct myself what I said before that. He was actually accompanied by the stepfather of Stephen Johns, who was killed. And we were hearing from various family members about how loved this man was, how wonderful this man was. And, you know, it's at the core of everything we're talking about right now, that's the central tragedy right there, the loss of this 39-year-old man who was described as this gentle giant who so many people loved. And he was apparently a fixture. If you went into the museum, you saw him, everyone who worked there. We spoke to an employee earlier who said he was this wonderful guy who communicated so much with so many people, but was ready to be tough when it was time for it. And obviously here was a hero.
Well, and I know a lot of people are reaching out to us through the blog.
Yeah, they're all over. Let's zoom in. I'll show you some things people are saying. CNN.com. You've got the blog, CNN.com/newsroom. There's my page, Facebook.com/JoshLettsCNN, Twitter.com/JoshLettsCNN. These are really online discussions where you get a chance to share your thoughts and, you know, post your own memorials to this man whose active heroism most likely saved a lot of lives there.
And just, it takes your breath away to think that this is a man who opened the door for the man who was charged with gunning him down.
Yep.
He did his job. He opened the door for an 88-year-old man to enter the museum, and now it's that very man who's charged with killing him.
You know, I'll just say quickly, we had someone on the air earlier who worked with him who said next time you go in a building,